Previously on Who Killed the Billionaire. Juliet Morty's investigation took a dark turn. Two burner phones led straight to Joanne, Kingsley's sister, who confessed she only meant to scare him, not kill him. Then, a cleaner revealed Kingsley had found Anna's birth control pills, shattering their perfect image. When Juliet confronted her, Anna broke down, confessing it wasn't betrayal, but fear of motherhood. Digging deeper, Juliet uncovered a long-buried meme, Pascal Igwe, a man who vanished decades ago, tied to Chief Kalu's past. One night, Juliet followed Anna to a forgotten cemetery and froze. The grave read, Pascal Igwe. Anna wasn't visiting a stranger. She was visiting her father. Drove on in silence, mind racing. She no longer saw Anna as just a grieving widow. She saw a woman living two lives, one of privilege and elegance, and another haunted by the disappearance of her father. Her entire marriage had been a careful dance with a family bound to her deepest trauma. Had she married Kingsley for revenge? The answer wasn't simple. Juliet recalled Anna clutching a pillow at night, whispering of love and guilt. She had loved Kingsley, but love didn't erase the past. Juliet returned to her notes, timeline, and suspects. Anna had motive, proximity, secrets, but most of all, she carried buried pain. Pain that could make a woman smile while slowly dismantling an empire. The lab results on the syringe and diffuser, the suspected murder weapons, were the first to arrive. No fingerprints, the forensic analyst reported. Every surface was wiped clean, deliberately erased. This wasn't accidental. It was a calculated effort to leave no trace. Juliet frowned. Anna was Pascal Igwe's daughter. If her life had been shaped by grief and mystery, that still didn't prove she had killed her husband. It showed a legacy of pain, a buried history. But pain wasn't a crime. Maybe they were chasing a dead end. She turned to Frank, her tech expert and longtime friend, hoping for a breakthrough. Kingsley's phone had just returned from the forensic lab, Juliet's last hope. Frank connected it to the workstation and waited. Then he looked up, his expression grim. The phone's been completely wiped. Nothing recoverable, he said quietly. Not just deleted or reset. This is military-grade data destruction. Multiple overwrites. No text, calls, photos, nothing. Juliet's stomach tightened. Whoever did this knew exactly what they wanted to hide. They probably erased everything before handing the phone over. Their next lead was the building security footage. Frank pulled up the recordings and scrolled through the timeline. See this? He pointed at the screen. The camera stopped recording at midnight and only resumed 8 hours later, well after Kingsley died. An 8-hour blackout during the exact window when it happened. Juliet had already known this, but hoped Frank's expertise could recover the missing footage. He ran specialized recovery software, but the blackout hours were gone, irrevocably deleted. Undeterred, Juliet requested Kingsley's bank statements for the past 6 months. The official documents arrived promptly. Together, they scanned the transactions and noticed a pattern. About a month before his death, Kingsley transferred 25 million naira to Mike Obi, his own brother. That's suspicious, Juliet whispered. Could be hush money or blackmail, but why pay your own brother? Then they spotted another transfer, a recurring monthly transfer of 100,000 naira to someone neither recognized. Frank dug deeper through contacts and public records. He's a licensed private investigator, Frank explained, known for discreet, behind-the-scenes work. Intrigued, Frank used his skills to access the investigator's encrypted cloud storage. Hours later, they uncovered a protected folder of message logs. One message, sent the night before Kingsley died, stood out. Her name isn't Anna. Her real name is Stacy Igwe. Juliet stared at the screen as the pieces clicked into place. If the investigator sent this, it meant Kingsley was paying him to investigate Anna. He was already suspicious of her. Had Anna found out? The missing footage and wiped phone signaled that Kingsley was close to uncovering something so dangerous, someone went to extreme lengths to erase all evidence and silence him. Anna wasn't just a grieving widow. She was hiding a past that might have been deadly. Determined to learn more, Juliet and Frank set out to find the private investigator. Tracking him down wasn't hard. He kept a low profile, but had to meet clients face-to-face occasionally. They arrived at a small, run-down building on the edge of town. Hardly anyone will call this place safe. Juliet glanced at Frank. "This place looks sketchy. We have to be careful," Frank agreed. Inside, the cramped, dim room smelled of stale smoke. The private investigator, a sharp-eyed man in his early 40s, wearing a worn leather jacket, greeted them warily. "I hear you want to talk about Kingsley Obi," he said, folding his hands. Juliet nodded. "We saw your message about Anna or Stacy Igwe. Tell us everything you found." The PI's eyes narrowed. "You saw my message? You mean you hacked my system and accessed my files without permission?" Juliet met his gaze steadily. "We had no choice. The official investigation hit dead ends. We're all trying to find the truth about Kingsley's death." Frank added, "This case isn't just paperwork. It's about justice. We didn't want to wait for bureaucracy to stall us." The PI sighed, glancing over his shoulder before lowering his voice. "Kingsley hired me to follow Anna." "Why would Kingsley hire you to tail his own wife?" Juliet asked. He was suspicious. Something didn't add up. Anna, or Stacy Igwe, has been hiding her real identity for years. Kingsley wanted the truth. He leaned closer, voice dropping. "That message I sent Kingsley the night before he died, I'm almost certain it was intercepted." Frank's eyes narrowed. "You think whoever killed Kingsley accessed your files first?" He said. "Exactly." Kingsley never replied. The next thing I heard was the news of his death. Julia's stomach tightened. "Do you have anything else? Names, places, anything that can help?" The PI slid a small flash drive across the table. "All I have is here. Take it, but be careful. This is bigger than you realize." Outside, the flicker of streetlights and distant stray dogs reminded them the place wasn't safe. But Juliet knew there was no turning back. The flash drive was a treasure trove of dark secrets. Juliet and Frank sat in stunned silence as they sifted through its contents, each file peeling back layers of deception surrounding Anna Stacy Igwe. First came a folder labeled Contacts and Transactions. Digital copies of forged passports and IDs, each bearing a different name and photo, but all linked to Anna's fingerprints. Names like Evelyn Okoro, Chinasa Ifeanyi, and Amara Ume appeared repeatedly. These weren't just fake documents. They were expertly crafted identities allowing Anna to move undetected across borders and under the radar. Next, video footage from a hidden camera positioned at a run-down industrial complex on the outskirts of the city played on the screen. The timestamp matched several of the forged ID's entry dates. The images were grainy, but revealing. A woman, dressed in oversized sunglasses, a wide-brimmed hat, and a long trench coat, carefully approached the factory gates. Her gait was deliberate, but there was something slightly off. A stiff posture, a hesitant glance sideways. Frank paused the footage and zoomed in. "Look here," he pointed. "Her hands, the way she holds herself. It's tense, not natural. Someone trying too hard to blend in." Juliet leaned closer, noticing subtle features, a faint scar near the jawline and a distinct birthmark on the wrist, both visible despite the disguise. In another frame, she was holding a sealed box, no labels, nothing visible to say what it was. "There's no way to prove what's in the package," Juliet muttered. But this wasn't a casual visit. The camera angle shifted to the parking area. A sleek black sedan was captured entering and leaving. The license plate was partially obscured but clear enough. ABC 472QW. Cross-reference this plate, Juliet instructed. Minutes later, The registration came back. The car was registered to a shell company. No direct owner listed. But Frank's further digging revealed something crucial. Surveillance footage from various city cameras showed the same black sedan frequently parked near Kingsley's residence in the days leading to his death. More importantly, the vehicle had also been spotted at multiple locations tied to Anna's forged identities. Frank pulled up a database of traffic violations and city records. Among the many sightings, one stood out. A traffic camera recorded the black sedan outside the airport, arriving at the exact time Anna, under the alias Evelyn Okoro, was documented entering the country. But the most critical lead came from a recent parking violation. Frank pulled up a city database of parking tickets. "Look at this," he said. "That same plate, ABC 472QW, got ticketed for illegal parking 2 weeks ago, right outside a commercial plaza downtown." Juliet leaned in. "Was it towed?" "No," Frank replied. "A ticket was issued, but the car was never moved after that, still showing in the system as unpaid and unclaimed." Juliet blinked. "So it's still there?" "Possibly," Frank nodded. "Sometimes vehicles like that stay parked for weeks, especially if no one's willing to claim them. If no one files a complaint or calls in, it just gets ignored, especially in low traffic areas." Juliet sat back, thinking. Then she turned to him. "I want a sweep, quietly, especially the driver's seat. Check for prints, fibers, hair, anything. Don't go through official channels." Hours later, Frank's team returned with results. They'd found a single strand of hair embedded in the driver's headrest. Juliet placed a discreet call to Deborah, the senior maid. "I need something your madam used recently. Her toothbrush, a cup, even her hairbrush. Be careful. Don't raise suspicion." 5 days after, the lab delivered its verdict. The DNA matched Anna Obi. Juliet stared at the report, her voice low. She thought she covered her tracks, but she missed a few things. 2 days later, lightning split the sky. Rain slammed against the windows in harsh, rhythmic bursts. Juliet sat at a small table, a thick folder open in front of her. Her expression was hard, eyes sharp with focus. The door creaked. Anna stepped in, her umbrella dripping, her expression unreadable. She hesitated for only a second before shutting the door behind her. Then she crossed the room and sat across from Juliet without a word. A long silence stretched between them, the sound of rain filling the space. Juliet spoke first, her tone calm but firm. "You're not Anna Obi. Your real name is Stacy Igwe, daughter of Pascal Igwe, Chief Kalu's former partner, the one who vanished without a trace." Anna smirked faintly. "Looks like you've been busy." Juliet didn't flinch. "Not as busy as you. You lied to Kingsley, lived in his house, slept beside him, then you killed him." Anna tilted her head slightly, her voice smooth and cool. "I didn't lie. I just let him believe what he wanted. That's not the same thing." Juliet's voice rose. "He didn't deserve to die like that." Anna's gaze hardened. "Did my father?" Juliet's jaw tightened. There was a flicker of pain in her eyes as she replied quietly. "Your father?" Anna leaned forward slightly, her tone low and charged. "Pascal Igwe, the real mind behind Kalu Holdings. But Chief Kalu saw him as a threat, so he erased him. My mother died waiting for answers. I was 12. We lost everything. No justice, no closure, just silence." Julia's expression softened for a moment, but her words remained sharp. "You think you're the only one who's lost something? That doesn't give you the right to rewrite justice with blood." Anna's lips curved into a bitter smile. No one rewrote anything, Juliet. They ripped out the pages that didn't fit. I'm just putting them back where they belong. Juliet met her eyes. So it's revenge. Anna's answer came swift and steady. It's the truth. Kingsley knew everything. His father's deals, the cover-ups. He stayed quiet because he benefited. Julia's tone hardened. So you killed him? Anna smirked again, a glint of defiance in her eyes. That's a bold accusation. Can you prove it? Juliet didn't blink. You erased 8 hours of security footage, poisoned him with fentanyl, no bruises, no fingerprints, but you made mistakes. She met Anna's gaze evenly. Anna's tone was flat. I see theories, not evidence. Juliet flipped through her folder. We found your forged identities, Evelyn Mokoro, Chinasa Ifeanyi, Amara Ume, each one tied together by your fingerprints. You used them to cross borders, vanish, reappear. Anna said nothing. A muscle twitched in her jaw. Juliet continued, her voice steady. Then there's the footage from that abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Lagos. It's grainy, yes, but there you are, disguised, holding a sealed package. The timestamp aligns perfectly with the days before Kingsley's death. Anna scoffed softly. A sealed package? That's what you're hanging your case on. You don't even know what was inside. Julia didn't flinch. No, but we do know the black sedan, license plate ABC472QW, was parked near Kingsley's home in the days before his death. Same car seen at properties tied to your fake identities. Same car caught at the airport the day Evelyn Okoro arrived. Anna's expression darkened slightly, the cracks beginning to show. Juliet pressed on. When that car was ticketed and left unattended, we swept it. Found a single hair on the driver's seat. DNA match Anna Obi, your current alias. Anna's tone dropped, cold and measured. You could have planted it. I've never been in that car. Juliet replied evenly. Your prints say otherwise. So do the forged documents. 3 IDs, all linked to you. Anna folded her arms, her tone turning mockingly. And what does that make me? A master of disguise? Do you have proof that I harmed anyone? Juliet's partner, Frank, stepped out of the shadows, his voice calm and sure. Not yet, but we have enough for forgery, fraud, and obstruction of justice. Once we dig through your finances, who knows what else we'll find? For a moment, Anna's calm mask wavered. She rose slowly, her tone low and controlled. Be careful, Juliet. Truth can be a weapon. Sometimes it cuts both ways. With that, she turned and walked out into the storm. The door clicked shut behind her. Juliet remained seated in the dim light, rain hammering the windows like a relentless heartbeat. The next day, a squad car pulled up quietly outside Kingsley's sleek penthouse. 2 uniformed officers stepped out, their faces set with grim resolve. They knocked firmly, then called out, Anna Obi, you are under arrest for the murder of Kingsley Obi, along with charges of forgery, fraud, and obstruction of justice. Anna froze for a moment, then slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were cold, defiant. She asked evenly, what evidence do you have to back up that claim? One officer replied, enough to charge you and bring you to court. Forensic evidence, multiple forged identities linked to you, and witness statements all pointing to your involvement. Anna didn't resist as they cuffed her wrist behind her back and guided her towards the waiting car. Weeks later, the city buzzed with tension as the trial began. Every headline, every whisper carried the same name, Anna Obi. What had started as a simple murder case had unraveled into a tangled web of betrayal, secrets, and long-buried wounds. 1 week later, the courtroom sat in breathless silence, thick with the weight of long-buried truths. Anna sat at the defendant's table, composed but wary. Her fingers were tightly clasped in her lap, her gaze steady yet distant. At the bench, the judge, a dignified woman in her 60s, adjusted her glasses and looked down at Anna. Her tone was firm but not unkind. "Anna Obi, you have been found guilty of murder, forgery, fraud, and obstruction of justice. These are serious crimes with serious consequences." She paused, her expression softening slightly. "This court has also reviewed new evidence regarding the death of your father, Mr. Pascal Igwe. It is now clear he was murdered, silenced by Chief Kalu in a calculated act of power and fear. You were a child when your world was shattered. Justice failed you then, and for years, no one was held accountable." The judge leaned forward slightly, her voice gentler now. "Trauma does not excuse wrongdoing, but it cannot be ignored. It leaves deep scars, ones that shape how we see the world and ourselves. You live with pain no child should bear. But when you took Kingsley's life, you made a choice. One born of sorrow, yes, but a choice nonetheless. And choices have consequences." After a quiet moment, she continued, "This court hereby sentences you to 20 years in prison with eligibility for parole after 12. You will also undergo mandatory psychological counseling for the duration of your sentence." A ripple of murmur spread through the courtroom. Anna's shoulders shifted slightly, as though something inside her had settled. She parted her lips and spoke, her voice rough and soft. "My father's death broke me. It left questions no one would answer, and wounds no one could see. I let that emptiness turn to rage. I thought if someone finally paid, I'd feel whole again. But all I did was lose more of myself." Her voice trembled with quiet regret. "I was wrong. I wanted justice, but I chose vengeance, and I became what I hated most. I'm sorry for what I did, for what I became." The courtroom remained still. Even the judge seemed momentarily moved by the honesty in her words. The judge nodded solemnly. "Let this sentence serve not only as punishment, but as the beginning of healing. Justice must be served, but truth, long buried, must also be acknowledged. Only then can understanding take its rightful place. Justice delayed is not justice denied, but justice must be whole. You sought answers for your father's death, and now you must answer for the life you took. That is the burden and the balance of justice."
Anna rose slowly as the officers approached. She didn't resist as the cuffs were placed on her wrists. Her steps were steady. She looked toward the gallery once, then lowered her gaze, a quiet acceptance softening her features. Outside, the rain had begun again, soft and unrelenting, as if the city itself were exhaling, washing away what it could, leaving behind what must be faced. And somewhere beneath that grey sky, what was broken finally began to mend.